The combat training hall of the Intergalactic Defense Academy stretched 300 meters in every direction, its floors made of reinforced titanium that had witnessed countless sparring matches between species from across the galaxy. Today, however, would be different. Cadet Maya Rodriguez stood at attention with her squadron, her dark eyes fixed forward as Commander Vextor, a towering Kralix warrior with scales like obsidian and 4 arms corded with muscle, paced before them. The Kralix had joined the Alliance only 2 cycles ago, bringing with them a reputation for brutality and a deeply ingrained belief in physical dominance. Humans, Vextor hissed, his translator rendering his contempt perfectly clear, are the weakest link in this academy. Fragile. Slow. Pathetic. Maya's jaw tightened, but she remained silent. She'd heard worse during her 3 years of training. Being underestimated was practically a human specialty in the galactic community. You there, Vextor pointed one of his clawed fingers at Maya. Step forward. She complied, moving to the center of the training circle with measured steps. Around them, cadets from a dozen different species watched with varying degrees of interest. The Vralin twins clicked their mandibles excitedly. A Tellurian cadet shifted his crystalline form nervously. Let us demonstrate, Vextor announced, the proper way to handle an opponent. Before Maya could respond, before she could even raise her guard, Vextor's fist crashed into her ribs. The impact sent her sprawling across the titanium floor, the metallic taste of blood filling her mouth. Pain exploded through her torso, at least 2 ribs cracked, possibly 3. The hall fell silent. Vextor turned away dismissively, already addressing the other cadets. You see. Humans break at the slightest. He never finished the sentence. Maya had rolled to her feet in one fluid motion, ignoring the screaming pain in her side. Years of training on Earth's high-gravity combat simulators had taught her body to function through damage that would incapacitate most species. She'd grown up in the refugee districts of New Rio, where survival meant learning to fight before you learned to read. 3 seconds, she closed the distance. 5 seconds, her first strike connected with Vextor's lower left arm joint, a precisely placed blow that temporarily paralyzed the neural cluster there. 8 seconds, she ducked under his retaliatory swing and drove her elbow into his exposed thorax, targeting the vulnerable spot where the Kralix respiratory system connected, information she'd memorized from xenobiology classes that most cadets found boring. 12 seconds, using his own momentum against him, she redirected his massive frame, sending him off balance. 18 seconds, her leg sweep caught him perfectly, and the supposedly invincible commander crashed to the floor with a thunderous impact. 23 seconds, she was on him, her knee pressed against his primary breathing vent, her hands locked around his thick neck in a submission hold that cut off blood flow to his brain stem. 28 seconds, Vextor's eyes began to dim, his 4 arms flailing weakly. 30 seconds, the training hall's automated safety protocols activated, recognizing the commander's vital signs approaching critical levels. Red lights flooded the space as the emergency klaxon wailed. Maya released him immediately and stepped back, her breathing controlled despite the agony in her ribs. Vextor gasped and wheezed on the floor, his scales fading from obsidian to a sickly gray, the Kralix equivalent of pale shock. Instructor Thane, a veteran Velosian officer, rushed onto the training floor. His third eye widened as he assessed the situation, then narrowed as he fixed his gaze on Vextor. Commander, Thane said coldly, striking a cadet without authorization violates Protocol 7 of the Academy Charter. Cadet Rodriguez, he turned to Maya, who stood at attention despite clearly favoring her injured side, acted within her rights to defend herself. Medical team, attend to them both. As the medbots arrived, Maya finally allowed herself a small smile. Around the hall, her fellow human cadets were grinning. The other species watched with newfound respect. Vextor, still struggling to breathe properly, stared at Maya with something that might have been fear, or perhaps, for the first time, actual respect. Never, Maya said quietly, leaning down so only he could hear, mistake kindness for weakness, Commander. And never underestimate a human who's had to fight for everything she has. She straightened and walked toward the medical bay, leaving the supposedly superior alien warrior still recovering on the floor. The message had been delivered: humanity might be physically weaker, but they were survivors, fighters, and they absolutely would not be pushed around. The wrong cadet had been hit. And in 30 seconds, everything Vex Thor thought he knew about humans had been proven catastrophically wrong.